there's Trump's response. Okay, it said, Robert Mueller just died. Good. I'm glad he's dead, is what Trump said. He can no longer hurt innocent people. President Donald J. Trump. Now, me personally, I don't really have an issue with people like, you know, how they respond to people's passing. I don't have an issue about that. I honestly don't care. I feel like people are allowed to react how they're going to react. And I'm not going to police somebody's reaction to that type of stuff. Now, for a president to do this is pretty tacky. You know, I'm not going to lie. Again, I don't care that he did it. Whatever. People are allowed to react how they react. I certainly am not going to police my reaction when Donald Trump moves on to the pine box land. But it is pretty bad taste for a president to set that kind of example. If I was president of the United States, I would probably bury some of that sentiment. You know, if I was president, I would feel like it was my job to be a bigger man. I would, right? I'm not gonna lie. Now, what I thought was really interesting, like about this though, guys, was, do you remember how the right wing was with Charlie Kirk? If you reacted the wrong way, and I mean, you didn't even have to be celebrating. You could simply just make a statement about who he was or how he was when he was alive. And they were going to try and get you fired. They had a database. They were doxing people like they were freakish about it. Remember? I mean, I remember they were livid. Anybody who says anything remotely negative, we are going to get rid of them. We're going to get them fired. We're going to rain down upon you. And seeing those same people not really caring about Trump's response was telling, to say the least, that, of course, they're allowed to behave differently than they expect everybody else to behave. Look at this. Look at Laura Loomer. President Trump says what everyone is thinking is right. We shouldn't feel bad when bad people die, right? Oh, shit. But look at her when it was Charlie Kirk. She says, the videos of sick people gloating over Charlie's death make me ill. Right? Look at that. How normalized the hatred is. Isn't that funny? Oh, look at this. He said, no need to shed tears for a man that played a very important role in the largest conspiracy against America. The left will melt down, but we are far past niceties. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So Gunther Eagleman, like, engaged in it, even though, dude, so who is Gunther? Gunther's not a real person. I mean, there's a guy named David from Fort Worth, Texas, and he was a cop for a couple of years, and that's him. His name is David Freeman. He's a former police officer. Dude, he's a weirdo, guys. There he is with the banana. He's another guy that I think has a fairly extensive closet, if you know what I mean. So he has a walk-in closet. He looks like a deviant. He does. He does. I mean, dude, that's the price of admission for MAGA, right? He's a weird one, boss. He did celebrate it. I'm curious, though. You ready? I'm curious what his take was on Charlie Kirk. Oh, look at this. Anyone mocking Charlie Kirk's death is evil, he says. Look at Gunther Eagleman. VP JD Vance on consequences for those celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. If you're celebrating Charlie's death, the First Amendment protects ugly speech, but it doesn't protect you from being fired for being a disgusting person. If you're a university professor on taxpayer dollars celebrating this, you should lose your job, or your school should lose funding. Civil society is rising up against that evil. The American people are holding them accountable. It's a great thing to see. Accountability now. But on Robert Mueller, he says, no need to shed tears for a man that played an important role in the largest conspiracy against America. The left will melt down, but we are far past niceties. So he's cool with it when it's celebrating the death of somebody that is, you know, a left wing who he says is part of a conspiracy against America. Isn't that wild? I mean, because according to MAGA, Trump should be fired, right? He's got a taxpayer-funded job. I mean, if they want a university professor fired, they certainly should want the president to step down after that. But like, guys, you're allowed. I believe that people are allowed to react to, you know, celebrity passings however they see fit. That doesn't mean it's not tasteless, and some of those responses are tasteless, but to think that somebody should be fired for the things they say after, you know, somebody dies, that just seems weird to me, guys. That just seems weird to me. It really does. I don't feel like that. To me, that seemed like a crazy overreaction. And especially, you know, when you look at some of these like super polarizing political figures, you know, I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to do when Trump passes? Like, my God, there's going to be reveling. I know for a fact that there will be an insane reaction to his passing that is probably going to be global. But again, I think the president should show better taste. That's what I think. What I think is bizarre about Trump, though, is that this is personal, okay? Trump's reaction to Robert Mueller was only because Robert Mueller, like, investigated the Trump-Russia stuff. Hurt innocent people? What is he even talking about? Dude, Mueller was a great public servant for years and years and years, but Trump was personally mad at him for his investigation into the Russian meddling in 2016. And what's more, dude, Trump was guilty of that. There was Russian meddling. They found obstruction of justice. They found potential collusion. It was all circumstantial with the collusion. But like, bro, you know, Trump keeps talking about the Russia hoax. That shit was not a hoax. Okay. We know that they meddled, and we know that, you know, with all those meetings in Trump Tower and shit, we know it's definitely not a hoax. Now, in the Charlie Kirk scenario, Charlie Kirk had a national profile of like going after certain groups of people, you know, racially or for their sexual preferences. He was very well known at ganging up on people, his professors list, etc. So there was, when Charlie Kirk passed, there were certain groups of Americans that had been targeted by him and his fans that may have felt a certain way with his passing. So I guess I understood some people's, you know, whatever, like difficult feelings. Trump, though, this is personal. Again, I'm not surprised that Trump reacted this way. I don't really care. He's allowed to react this way. However, I think it's interesting that he's only reacting this way because of his personal vendetta, and that most of his followers don't give a shit. Trump gets different rules than they hold everyone else to, which I think is wrong, guys. I think our leaders should be held to a higher standard. That's me. That's how I look at it. I think leaders should be held to a higher standard. And I know it's going to get very complicated when Donald Trump passes, because I think there's going to be worldwide reaction to Donald Trump passing that is, you know, is not going to be sadness. There's not going to be a lot of sadness. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.